Hey guys, welcome back. So in the previous lesson, we successfully set up WordPress on our local machine. In this lesson, we are going to download the starter theme from Sage. However, as this course is all about modern theme development, there is a fork of Sage, and Robinworks, Robinworks. So he's basically created it is exactly the Sage theme, but he's configured Laravel Mix and Vue.js into the theme. So rather than us going through it and setting it all up ourselves, I'm just going to simply download his repository or clone his repository, and that will be our starting point. Okay, and again, I will leave the link to his repository here in the description. Okay, so I'm going to copy his link and come back into the terminal, and we are in WordPress Sage. So I'll just go into content, themes, and let's see what do we have there. Great. I believe I've already deleted behind the screen the 2017 and 2018. So we've got only one theme left, which is 2019, in case if we want to refer to it. It's always good to have at least one theme in the WP content folder. Okay, so let's go ahead and download or clone the repository. And I'm going to call this my portfolio. Okay. Great. Now let's cd into my portfolio and run composer install. Great. So now that we've got the dependencies installed, now let's see if we can install, well, you can always refer to his documentation. Okay, I've used, Laravel Mix that much that I know what needs to be done. So we just downloaded now the composer dependencies. We'll run yarn, and yarn is a package manager. It's a little different than npm, but the same, I would say. And talking about npm, now that we have npx, so a lot of packaging tools out there. Okay, but yeah, we will use yarn. So if I run yarn, that should be, yeah, so it's going to go ahead and download all the node packages. I must point out that when I was trying to run yarn on the project itself, and because I have the latest version of Node installed on my machine, I was getting problems. So I had to go ahead and downgrade my Node from the latest version, which I believe is 12 something, and I use NVM, which basically lets you switch between the versions. Let's have a look. So if I look on here, yeah, so I specify that I'm going to use version 9.9, and that way then the errors all went away. I believe Sage is under heavy development at the moment, and they are going to release version 10. However, we are going to stick with the Sage 9 for now, and for you to work along with me, just make sure that you have the version 9.9 installed on your machine, not the latest one. And if you're a Mac user, you can use NVM. I believe it will work on your Windows machine as well. And in fact, I will leave the notes for you. So if you go to the NVM, it's a node version manager. You can, quickly switch between different versions. Okay. And if I say Windows, let's see if it is. Yeah, so there is something called NVM Windows. And if you're a Windows user, you will have to go through this, read through it, and you should be able to set it all up. Right, so that was just a bit of a disclaimer in case if you start having problems. Okay, so now we've installed an npm packages. We are going to remove the .git folder so that it's not linked to, you know, the repository that we just downloaded. Right, so I'll just go ahead and remove. Great. Once you have opened your project in your editor, what you will do is just type in well, if you are using any JetBrains editor, just type in .ide and ignore everything. Basically, that's how the PHP Storm keep track of all the files and, you know, help you in auto completion and all that stuff. It's for its internal usage. It's quite annoying. You end up, you know, committing stuff to repository where you don't really need it. It's one of them things, you know, that when I'm at work, I have a bit of a scuffle with my colleagues as well. Okay, but yeah, so you can go ahead and ignore it if you are using the PHP Storm. Okay, once that's done, go ahead and initialize the repository itself. Great. We will add, and then let's just do the initial commit. And that way it will make it a lot easier for us just to keep a track of whatever work we are doing in case if something happens that we can revert back. Great, so it's all set up. So in order for us to have live reloading, where when you make any changes to your project and you can instantly see it in your browser, what we will do is we will go ahead and we will add .browser sync to your webpack.mix file, webpack.mix.js. Okay, you will specify the URL, which would be WordPress Sage, we called it, .website. That's the domain on my local machine. Okay, and I believe now if we run yarn and run dev, that's the command. So because we don't have the browser sync installed on our machine, it will. Laravel Mix is a really good tool by Jeffrey Way, and you know it's just brilliant. So it just goes ahead and it downloads the dependency for you. Okay, so now that's done, we can again run yarn run dev. And that should go ahead and open the project in the browser for us. Oops, I believe it's yarn run watch. I forgot. It's always good to compile your project so everything is being compiled. And there we go. Okay, lovely site. So in order to have a better coding experience and, you know, let PHP Storm help you, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have enabled WordPress plugin, which comes along with the PHP Storm by default, I believe. And I think I already have it enabled, but have a look. Let's go to the preference, and if I look in WordPress, so it's already enabled. Great. Now I'll go under the PHP frameworks, click on frameworks, and then specify that you want to enable the WordPress integration. And here you will browse to the folder where you have the master. So in my in this case, for me, it's in my documents, and I will just open that and I will apply, and there we go. Okay, WordPress installation is not added to PHP fix. Let's see what. So you need to specify the PHP CLI interpreter. So I'll go ahead and apply that, and we are all good to go. So now PHP Storm will start indexing the files, and it will help you so much along the way when it comes to auto completion and everything. So now that we have everything pretty much configured, we've got now Sage starter theme configured, we've got our editor ready, and we've got the npm package is all installed, and now we can live reload our project. In next lesson, we will do a bit of a refresher where we look at the main parts of WordPress, and then we will start playing around with Sage, and we'll try to understand what is it that Sage is trying to do and what problems is it trying to solve. Okay, right, so I'll see you guys in the next lesson.